Good day, everyone. This is Pilot Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest in DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hey now, everybody. How's it going?
Everything's going fine over here. How are things going against the invasion?
You know, I am pretty okay here in Ravenloft because nobody really comes and bothers me ever, except the stupid, Bastani. But, I deal with them accordingly.
All right, you deal with them, of course. So you don't have to worry about Fred and his friends coming over for dinner.
I always thought Fred was a nice guy, but I guess we now know the real secret behind Fred.
We'll know the secret behind Fred. All right. So what's this all about?
Yes, Update 63 has now launched on the server as of today as we record the show. Look at us, recording a show the day the patch comes out. This is like a world record for us, Pine Leaf. Like we need to write this down, circle this in red, so next year we can say, "You remember that time we actually broadcast on the day a patch came out?" We are professional podcasters, Pine Leaf. Don't forget
Finally?
that.
Yeah.
Finally,
After how many years?
Took us 333 episodes, but we made it, sir. We made it. Yes, Update 63. The Illithid invasion is now on the servers. You might be asking, what the heck are you talking about? Well, the Illithids are invasion. There you go. Okay. Podcast over. You're welcome.
What? I think there's more to it than that.
Well, there might be a little more to it than that. Yeah, this is a one-time event that's spread across all of our game. The game needs your help. That is you sitting right there. You have to help stop the Illithid invasion. Powerful.
I thought you needed a character that's level 34.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. All in due time, Pine Leaf. I'm trying to build the suspense, and you're ruining it.
Sorry.
You're spoiling things. Come on. Remember, we are professional podcasters. Come on. Ooh. Come on now. Come on. Yes, powerful and unusual Illithids are on the prowl throughout the world of DDO. Update 63, Illithid Invasion is, as I said, a limited one-time event in which you're going to scour Reaper difficulty dungeons throughout the game to locate these powerful invaders. You're going to defeat these threats, and as you defeat the threats, you are going to tick some scores off of an unlock. And eventually, once enough of these have been defeated, you're going to start unlocking some dungeons. And then those dungeons will help solve the key to ending their sinister plan once and for all. Do note that the dungeons that players are unlocking will stick around after the event. The event is going to end, so like the Illithids that you have to find hidden in dungeons, they will not be there anymore. But the 4 dungeons that we will unlock will always be in the game. They are 4 extreme challenge dungeons. They are called Pilgrim's Peril, Stolen Power, Horde of the Illithid Controller, and the Astral Ambush. All of these dungeons are level 34, and they are only available on legendary difficulty. If you want to start helping unlock these dungeons, you just need to speak to the 12 wizard named Amaran Cedarbrook. You can find him in the Cliff Top Tower district over in Sharn to learn more. There's going to be some other NPCs located near him as well. Once these dungeons start unlocking, you're going to see new NPCs pop up, so you'll know that the dungeons are unlocked. So that is what we are trying to do to unlock those dungeons. So the short version of it is you're going to run dungeons on Reaper difficulty. You might find some hidden Illithids. They're going to drop something. As those things drop, we are ticking off to get the dungeons unlocked. Right. So really, it's a way just to unlock these 4 dungeons. Instead of them just saying, hey, here's 4 new dungeons for you. They're like, you need to work to unlock these dungeons.
Okay. Now, are these going to replace the regular Reapers that appear on it, or is this in addition to the regular Reapers?
It's addition to the regular Reapers. From what I gather, I kind of scoured the forums a little bit. I guess certain champions will be changed into these Illithid. I forgot what they're called. So you're still going to have Reapers in your dungeons. You're still going to have champions. You might get one of these Illithid, for lack of a better word, champions. I forgot what they're called. They're called Illithid something.
Annoyances.
And then that's what you need to kill to slowly unlock these. And this lasts about a week, so they're pretty sure players are going to have all these dungeons unlocked in a week. So we'll see.
They have confidence in the player base in doing that.
Oh, I'm sure. So so there you go. So go take part.
That's one way we're going to find out how many people run Reaper.
Oh, there's tons of people that run Reaper. I mean, yeah, it is a little strange that this is only Reaper only though, and I did see a little bit of unhappy people, we'll say, on the forums that these kind of were only Reaper only, and then the end dungeons that you're relocked are going to be the legendary only. But I mean, they did say that the 4 dungeons that we're unlocking are extreme challenge dungeons, so it makes sense. So that is the event. Also, in our update today, update 63, we have the new Deck of Many Curses. With the Deck of Many Curses, you are going to collect cards to make decks. And then with those decks, you're going to apply mysterious curses to your equipment. Cards from the Deck of Many Curses will appear in end chest throughout Update 63's Illithid Invasion quest. Once you have enough cards, all you have to do is you click on a card, and that's going to open a UI. Then that's going to allow you to turn in 12 of each card type, and then that will turn into a deck. Cards are unbound, but your decks are bound to account. Just keep that in mind. All you need to do is click on a deck to open that UI, and then that's going to allow you to add a random effect to an item of your choice. The item that you're wanting to give this random effect to must be unequipped, though. So keep that in mind as well. Adding a deck effect to your item does not impact its minimum level or its ability to be equipped. A special card called the Curse Cleansing card may appear very rarely, keep that in mind, rarely, in almost any chest throughout the game. And then what this card does, just what it says, you can remove any curse that you put on a piece of equipment from the deck with this card. And then you can add another effect onto the card. So that's something else to keep in mind too. You can't, like, if you have like a sword that you put a curse on, you can't just put another curse on that sword to erase the other curse unless you have one of these cards that will remove it, and then you have to apply a new one.
Now, the strange thing about this terminology is if someone says you're going to get an item that will put a curse on your weapon, I will stay as far away from that thing as possible.
Yeah, I am not sure why they called it a curse. I don't know why they called this the Deck of Many Curses. It's kind of weird. I did watch last Fridays at 4. Quarterman kind of showed this off a little bit. He was on an internal server, and he was kind of showing it off. Some of the effects that are applied, of course, everything is random, and we don't know how many effects there are, and the devs aren't saying. That was a question somebody said, hey, can you give us a list of all the effects that could happen? And for right now, they're keeping that a secret because they just want people to build decks and try to find out themselves. But most of the stuff were not bad. Like, one of it was you got like a plus to your jump, and one you got a plus to your luck.
I would not call that curse.
So it's the terminology. I don't know why they're calling this Deck of Many Curses. I sort of understand kind of why they're doing this, because WotC Hasbro is getting ready to come out with the Deck of Many Things. So I think they're kind of trying to tie into that, and I'm wondering if maybe Hasbro WotC wouldn't let them call it the Deck of Many Things, possibly. So they had to go with many. I don't know. It's weird.
How about the Deck of Many Boons?
Yeah, it's weird, but I'm interested to see how this works out and to see how people take to this. I don't know. This part is just weird to me. And even when I was looking at Lamania forums, when this was being previewed on Lamania, and there was like a lot of people that were like, I just don't understand why this is the thing. Like, why do we need this? Why is this a thing? I don't know. So there you go. Keep in mind too that deck effects cannot be placed onto cosmetics, onto wands, scrolls, quivers, or ammunition. Any other item, weapon, armor, jewelry, anything like that, you can place your curse on. So there you go. So good luck getting cursed.
Good luck in getting cursed. Wonderful.
And then there was a couple, bug fixes in, like every release we have this cool new stuff, and then they go back and fix all the stuff that broke. There's quite a bit of stuff in there. Nothing really jumped right out at me that was like, oh my God, they finally fixed that. So if I'm missing anything, anybody can tell me. I guess the biggest thing, and I know this was really bothering some people, the Dinosaur Bone Greatsword has now done a flip, and it now faces the correct direction. I guess for the longest time, that Dinosaur Bone, it looked like the sword edge was facing towards you and not away from you. So I guess they fixed that animation now, and a lot of people were like that. We're happy about that. Like, I don't know if that really would have bothered me that much, but
I guess I'd never had a look at that particular item, so I don't know what.
Yeah, it was. I guess for ever since until now, like it was just faced the incorrect way.
I'm just trying to think, what part of the dinosaur is it from? Because if it was a femur, if it was a T-Rex femur, I'm not too sure how you turn that into a sword.
Very carefully. Very, very carefully. They do say that Monster Manual entries for Update 63's enemies is going to live in a future game update. So all of the new Illithids and type stuff is not in the Monster Manual. They're going to fix that in a future update. So, there you go. And that's it. You can go over into the show notes and get a full link to all the release notes if you want to read all the bug fixes and stuff. But like I said, nothing really jumped out at me. Just the big thing is the deck of mini curses in this Illithid event that's running.
Then let's go and look at the other special event that's going on this week. In that Standing Stone Games is holding its annual Extra Life special this Saturday.
Yes, they do Extra Life every year. And of course, if you don't know what Extra Life is, that's when people start teams and then they play games to raise money for children's hospitals. And you can, if you're participating in Extra Life, you can pick whatever like your local children's hospital would be to donate the money to. Of course, Standing Stone Games, they're doing Children's Hospital in Boston. So if you actually donate to Standing Stone Games themselves, you're going to help support the Children's Hospital in Boston. But of course, each individual member of the team might have their own hospital, so keep that in mind. But this Saturday, Court Event's going to be doing a live stream over on twitch.tv/DDO stream from about 3 p.m. till 8 p.m. Giveaways, gaming, and life-saving fundraising is what it is. And it sounds like he's going to attempt to run every one of the raids.
Every one of the raids.
That's what it sounds like the goal is. So we'll see if that happens.
But is there actually enough time within the...
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, most of the raids don't take that long to run, really. Especially if you have a group that knows what they're doing and is good enough to do it. And it sounds like he is going to team up with... I forgot what guild it is, but they are a very well-known raiding guild. So, so I think they'll be able to do it, no problem at all. And it looks like the goal this year is $30,000, and as we record this on November 1st, Standing Stone Games themselves is at 20,872. So, almost there. So I think by Saturday we should be able to smash that goal. And then, of course, Cordovan has his own personal page as well. Let me click over and see where he's at. Waiting for my internet to load the page. My internet is kind of dumb today and it's really slow, so pretend I have this ready. Cordovan is actually over his goal. His goal was only 5,000 and he's at 13,000 already, so good job. And then, of course, just like in previous years, if you donate at least $10, you can get a chance to win stuff. You can go over the forums and see all of that. There's all sorts of drawings and stuff they're going to do, so... there you go. Pretty cool. And it's for kids, so go help the kids.
Right. And that's it for our game news for this week. So let's go and find out what's crawling in from the dungeon. Where I think he said something about a deck of many things that's having many delays.
Wah, wah. Yeah, the deck of many things was set to release very soon, November 14th, so not too long from now. But no, says Hasbro. Hasbro WotC did announce that due to a manufacturing issue, more on that in a minute, the physical version of the Deck of Many Things is going to be delayed. They are not saying how long it's going to be delayed. A new release date will be to be determined. The digital release of the Book of Many Things is not being impacted by this delay, though, and it's still going to release as planned on November the 14th. So if you did purchase the physical plus digital bundle, you are going to receive access to the Book of Many Things. Actually, yesterday is when you actually got access to that over on D&D Beyond. So if you did purchase the physical plus digital, you now have the digital version. The physical version is coming. If you're thinking, what the heck is a Deck of Many Things? I'm sure by now everybody knows what the Deck of Many Things is. I would hope so. But if not, a little crash course in history for you. Deck of Many Things is the physical embodiment of a magical set of playing cards that was first added into the game back in 1975. So you draw cards, and then depending on which card you get, something good could happen, something bad could happen. It just depends.
That's why it's around the time Blackmore was released?
Yes, I do believe so. You are correct. So this is a elaborate box set they're planning on coming out with. It's going to have 2 books that are going to explain the deck, how to use the deck, and then, of course, you're going to get the actual Deck of Many Things as well.
Sounds like that I have a feeling they're having trouble with the foil.
It was not the foil per se.
Was it the foil?
It was not the foil per se. Because they did some... Well, I'm just going to be nice here and say some people got early copies of this to review. And every one of those people, I'm being nice, that got this early review set, the cards were all different sizes. So if you tried to shuffle the deck, you couldn't really shuffle the deck because the cards were different sizes. Some of the cards were rounded, some were not rounded. Some of the cards, like the foil, wasn't even on the card at all. Some of the foil, as soon as they touched the card, it fell off. So it was really bad manufacturing.
There seems to be something wrong with manufacturing of some products, especially in the people who get them early, because there was a big trouble with landmarks where all the people who got very early copies, it looked like that they were rejects from the manufacturing.
Yeah, and that's like I watched one YouTube video and the cards looked horrible.
All right.
And keep in mind the MSRP on this set is $99.99. So it pains me to give Hasbro WotC any credit here, but at least they did delay this release Because if I paid $100 for what I saw in a couple YouTube videos, I would be pissed because it was horrible quality. So we'll see. But yeah, so stay tuned for updates. When we get a new release date, we will definitely let you know. But no Deck of Many Things on November 14th. Digital is available on the D&D Beyond, though. So if you pre-order, you can get access early. You can get access right now. And then if you don't want to pre-order, you can just get it on D&D Beyond November 14th still. They're still going to release the digital because, of course, digital is digital and they can change all they want to it without it being, a whole rigmarole they have to go through like they do with this physical and recall stuff and yada, yada, yada. So
yeah, and physical sets don't have a habit of having different sizes.
Right,
ruin
exactly.
shuffling.
Yep. So there you have it. Deck of Many Things delayed.
Then let's go and look what AW Games is doing. Where it looks like we have something called Rutmork. What exactly is Rutmork?
It is a Rultmork. It. I always want to say that in like a weird Scottish accent too, like Rultmork. Something like that. It was a successful Kickstarter that they ran. It is now available everywhere. This was about 4 years in the making for this. Rultmork is a brand new deluxe adventure by award-winning writer Jonathan J. Nelson of AAW Games. You might know his name if you're familiar with the Rise of the Drow, a game that they set out with. I can really not speak tonight. What is going on with me? Keep in mind, this is a limited edition, never to be reprinted. So if you want this, you better get it now. It's available as a standalone hardcover and also a very lavish box set with covers by Seattle legend Nate Dam, who is an artist who, spoiler alert, we actually have this box set that we're going to do an unboxing video for. Oh my God, this cover is amazing looking. I love the cover of this book. I'm like, yes, please. AA Games fans want worlds they can seek their teeth into, says Jonathan Nelson. Like any great world, you can explore it over and over again, discovering something new about the game and themselves. Rultmork is described as deep in the Baovian Mountains. Every time I see that word, I want to say Barovian, but it's not Barovian. It's Beovan. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I'm just going to say Beovan. Sure, mountains. I always want to say Barovian, though. Stands a monolithic spire of stone, peppered with ancient ruins, mostly forgotten. The spire contains a temple complex, rich in history and steeped in the mysteries of the past, untouched for a millennium. But it's not without its dangers, of course, for an ancient evil stagnates within. This is Rultmork, where, according to legend, the very land died to the sound of a single falling tear. But I have a question. How does a tear make a sound? But that would be my first question.
Maybe it dropped into water and giving a plop sound.
Sure. You're going to be the first to explore ruins sealed for about 1,000 years, so pretty much untouched at this point. So have fun with that. Enter the spire looming over a wasteland and unearth deadly secrets of ancient people. Engage in dungeon archaeology, and you can explore a gigantic water clock, which sounds cool as all get out. You're going to meet a cult.
By tears?
Maybe that might be the tears that made the noise. Who knows? You're going to meet a cult of immortal hermits, which who would not want to meet a cult of immortal hermits? I mean, come on. And you can also send your consciousness back through time, which intrigues me as well. So, yeah. So we are going to do a full unboxing on this. And I've kind of looked at the PDF of this, and I am kind of wanting to run this because this looks pretty darn cool, actually. But look for that video coming soon so you can see what's all in the special deluxe edition box set. But you can go over to AAW Games and pick this up and run this as well. and meet those Cult of the Hermits, which, love it.
And let's go and see what a certain group of Ninja Turtles are up to. And there seems to be other strangers on top of the Ninja Turtles.
Oh, this is okay. I'm just gonna tell you now. Prepare for a rant. There will be a rant. Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and other strangeness. If you're familiar with that RPG from 1985, like this is my childhood. Like this was my childhood for the longest time. I was so excited when I heard this was coming back. This is on Kickstarter now. It's still Palladium Games though. Which is very problematic, but more on that in a minute. So yeah, so if you're not, I'm sure most people, are familiar with this RPG. You can create the Ninja Turtles if you want to. You can play the Ninja Turtles, or you can create some other type of mutant and just go explore and role play. And like I said, this was my childhood. I'm looking at my original Turtle books right now, as a matter of fact. They're almost within arm's reach. So this is one of my most beloved RPGs. My only problem with this is I wish to goodness Palladium was not the one doing this Kickstarter.
Oh, why?
If you're not familiar, Palladium does not have the greatest track record with Kickstarters. All you really have to do is Google Robotech Palladium Kickstarter and be prepared for one of the saddest stories you're ever going to read. Yeah, they screwed the pooch on the Robotech RPG Kickstarter big time. We could almost do a complete episode just on how bad that Kickstarter was ran and other various things that Palladium have done. The short version of the story is that Kickstarter about did them in. Like, I am surprised they are even still a company. But they're still here.
Oh, you mean they didn't like Holy Grail Games die after their troubles with Kickstarter?
No, which they about did, but they didn't. So yes, they are bringing back Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness. This is officially licensed, and it does have the blessing of Kevin Eastman, who, of course, was one of the co-creators of the Turtles. So he's going to be doing some drawings and artwork for it. My other problem with this Kickstarter, their Kickstarter page is horrible.
Well, they've already got $500,000 almost.
Yeah, they do. It's making money. I will, full disclosure here, haven't backed it yet. I'm more than likely gonna back it under protest. Under many protests, I'm probably gonna back this, but I don't have high hopes of ever getting this because it's Palladium. But anyway, the weirdest thing to me is, I kind of get why they're doing it, because they're kind of treating it like a comic book, which, Turtles was based on a comic book. Okay, I sort of get it. There's like 27 different cover variants you can get for this.
What?
I'm like, why do we need that many cover variants? There's like a full color one. There's a black and white and red one, which is like what the original books were. They were all in black and white. And then they have a black and white and red edition. And then they have a Kickstarter exclusive variant edition. And then they have the foil stamped cover variant edition. And then they have the stamped cover red green version. Then they just have a green. And it's like, no, we don't need that many versions of the book. Just give us the book. And then they're also doing their teaming up a fan roll, and they're going to be doing metallic dice for this, which the dice, they finally showed off the dice. For the longest time, they weren't showing the dice off, which was interesting to me that they didn't show the dice off. But the dice look okay. I mean, and they're only $20, so they're not that bad. You can also get a dice tray. They're going to have a dice tower, and they're going to do miniatures. This is my biggest complaint about this Kickstarter so far. They're not showing you the miniatures. They're not even showing you any renders of the miniatures. They're just saying, hey, we're going to have miniatures. You're going to have Donatello, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Raphael, which, of course, the Turtles, Casey Jones, and Splinter. And then there's going to have stretch goals to unlock other miniatures, but they're not showing you. Like, show me the miniature. Show me a render of the miniature, at least.
It looks like, though, that on the covers, they're going to be slowly revealing them, so maybe they'll reveal the miniatures after they have all the covers revealed.
I guess. I don't know. This Kickstarter is just... Then again, it's Palladium, so go figure. They can screw up a Kickstarter real fast, and we're well on our way with this one. But so yeah, and I guess the price is not horrible either. It's like $50 for one book, $100 for both of them. So I'm like, okay, that's not horrible. But then again, they're not even saying, are these soft covers? The original books were soft covers. Are these softcover books? Are they hardcovers? They're not saying.
Well, that's something you should be saying.
I would think, right? Like, that would kind of be good to know, because, like, am I about to spend $100 on 2 softcover books? I hope to God not, but here we are. So, I don't know. So, I guess I just want to say... As always with Kickstarter, you know, back at your own risk. You're not guaranteed to get any rewards, yada, yada, yada. With this one, really, really think about what you're about to do, because this is Palladium. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, I will. Full disclosure, I am going to back this. I just don't know when. I might wait till the very last minute, because I kind of want to see if this thing implodes on itself and gets pulled before it ends. But
it's hard to pull a Kickstarter that hit its reward.
A lot of Kickstarters have been canceled after they've hit their reward. So
okay, but usually though, those that it did, I thought were usually ones that way under that way
there was
what they had or something.
There was a game, I don't remember the board game. It was actually fully funded.
Yeah.
And the company canceled it.
That sounds like a copyright issue, though.
I don't remember what it was. Yeah, I would have to look back. So it's not out of the realm, so we'll see.
Okay.
Just like I said, buyer beware.
Okay.
Like, triple on this one because it's Palladium. and it pains me to say that, because how much time I spent with the original Turtles, which were done by Palladium. So there's a part of me that's happy. Like, at least it's, you know, where it started, and I would think they would know how to do it, but gosh, they can't run a Kickstarter. And they're barely above water as it is now. So, and they just made a ton of money as we were sitting here talking, because I still have the Kickstarter page open. And they just made about another $1,000 as we were talking. So there you go. So whoever you were that just backed that, good luck to you, bud. Good luck.
Good luck.
Best of luck to you.
That concludes our entries from the dungeon. So let's see what our weekend gaming was. Drac, what were you up to?
Night Rebels.
Night Rebels.
Night Rebels. Night Rebels. Night Rebels.
Night Rebels.
I can run the dungeons probably with my eyes closed in my sleep now. I ran them so many times. I did get the horse, though. That was the goal.
To get the horse.
To
Is
get
it
the
a
horse.
skeleton steed?
It is. It is.
They have a skeleton skin DDO now.
It's the red. Yeah, it's the Red Reaper steed. I will put a picture up on if you're watching the YouTube version of this. There'll be a picture up on the screen now. Note to myself as I edit this: insert picture here. So yeah, Beaker and Saphira and Beavis helped me. So thanks to them for running those ad nauseum. Because you needed 240 of each ingredient to get the horse. The other dungeons were bad. That dragon. Oh, that dragon. I hate that dragon. And we were running 5 levels over because that's how you get maximum ingredients for each run. So we were running I was 25. Everybody else was like 24, 25, 27. So we were basically running the dungeons at like 32 is the level we were running. So we were running 5 over. That was getting us maximum ingredients for everything. But that dragon, man. Oh, that dragon. I never want to do that dragon again. Mental note, and remember I said that as next year they have something in here. I am probably running the dragon again and saying, I hate this stupid Dragon Quest. It really gonna depends on what they come out with next year if I even like do the stupid dragon again, because that Dragon Quest is just so annoying. It's not like it's difficult. Like the fight is fairly easy and straightforward. And the whole dungeon itself is not bad. I mean, you just have to know how many times to turn the lights, which that's easy, and then you got to know the puzzle, which Saphira was always doing the puzzle. So she was doing the puzzle. I was running around flipping the lights when the puzzle was done. So we had it down to where we could get it done in about 12 minutes, 13 minutes. I think we were ranging between about 12, 13 minutes a run. So, I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it's just tedious and it's just boring. So I guess next year we're going to have a new dungeon at least, though. So we'll have at least a new dungeon to enjoy. But still kind of enjoy the Night Revels. Still think 240 of each ingredients was a little much for the horse, but I guess that's over now. So that's really all I did in DDO, just a lot of Night Revels. And then did play some video games. Played quite a bit of Baldur's Gate 3. I am probably 2.5, 3 hours into it so far. Really enjoying it a lot. Really, really fun story. I love the story. So yeah, I don't want to say too much quite yet about that because I'm going to have a review coming out soon. I'm going to give it a couple more hours and then I feel like I have a good handle on it. Also dipped my toe in a little bit to a game called Lies of P. I haven't played much of it. The easiest way to describe this is, are you familiar with like the Dark Souls games?
I've heard of them.
Which they are like super hard, like you die a lot. That's where the term Souls-like game came from. It's super challenging, super hard. You fight like massive bosses.
Not Pine Leaf level then.
Yeah, probably not. I couldn't see you liking any of the Souls type games. Well, Lies of P is a Souls type game too, but it's got a little bit of interesting twist to it. It's set in the world of Pinocchio.
Okay, so that's what the P stands for. Then.
Yes, it's the Lies of Pinocchio. Basically,
does your nose grow then?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was kind of disappointed in that, but
okay.
I was kind of hoping it did because I'm like, okay, that's kind of a funny joke, but no. So yeah, it's the best way I can describe it is it's a Souls-like game set in the world of Pinocchio. It's very bizarre. The story is very, very bizarre. I'm not very far into it at all, so I can't really talk too much about it. And then I did play some Starfield. I'm enjoying it. If you liked the Fallout games, you're gonna like it. The only minor complaint I have about Starfield so far, and unfortunately this is quite a bit of the game I'm seeing, I hate the way space combat is done.
Ooh.
I just don't like the way they do space combat. Like every other thing in the game is fine. All the other combat is fine. I don't mind any of the other combat. I just don't like the way like you're flying a ship and then it's just the mechanics of space combat I do not like. So far there's been a couple times where I could see I was going to have to fight and I'm like, nope, I'm going to just avoid this because I don't want to deal with this. So, and I haven't really, I've only jumped to like 2 planets so far, so I haven't really explored hardly any of it yet, but it's basically Fallout in space is the best way to describe it.
So I was wondering if it's going to be more like Fallout, or it's going to be more like Skyrim, or is it similar enough to each other that it doesn't matter?
Yeah. I mean, I could see where there's a lot of Skyrim influence in it too. It's just I don't know if anybody else has played it. Let me know. Do you detest space combat as much as I do? Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I just don't understand it. That might be it too. Maybe I just can't wrap my head around it.
Oh, I wonder if they based it on the mounted combat system in Skyrim, which, if I remember correctly, I tried it once and never attempted it again.
I don't know if I ever did in Skyrim, so
Either that or I'm mixing it up with another game or something because I thought there was an attempt at doing it. I think it's something that they attempted to do, but never emphasized. But it sounds like, of course, in Starfield, there's a lot more emphasis probably going to be on space combat.
Yeah, I am slowly kind of seeing that.
Yeah.
And like during the very beginning of the intro like mission that you go through, you're forced into like 3 space combats in a row.
Oh, right.
Until you do something to lessen that. I don't want to spoil it in case anybody has not played it yet and want to play it. I won't spoil exactly what you have to do, but there's something that you have to do to stop something from happening that always causes space combat. Somebody is chasing you and you have to do blah blah blah. That's like I said, I'll keep it kind of spoiler free, but
all right. So that's gonna be a real pain then.
Yeah, it is. So I'm like I said, as I'm avoiding it as much as I can now. I'm enjoying everything else though. So let me know if any of you guys have played Starfield. Let me know, and maybe I'm just doing something wrong, or it's my fault and I just don't understand it. So, but that's right.
Major update 1. Update his space combat.
Fixed your shitty space combat. Yes. Do it. Listen to me and fix it. Yeah, I don't know. So it'll be interesting if anybody's played it and tell me, yeah, you're just dumb, you're doing it wrong, which I can totally admit I'm probably dumb and I'm probably doing it wrong. But we'll see. So how about you, Playmate? What have you been up to?
All right. Well, not much in DDO recently because I got distracted in the other game because they had the release of a new race and a release of a new class, and now there's
I heard little rumblings of such things happening over there.
Yeah, and then next week there's going to be an expansion, so
SSG's been a little busy over on the other side as well, apparently.
On the other side, my SSG gaming has been on the other side recently, so nothing there. But I did have a chance to play a new game that recently released called Return to Moria.
I was hoping you were going to talk about this because I am enjoying your videos of this so much. So much. I am getting so much pleasure in watching these videos of you trying to
fouling up.
Yes, trying to figure this out. It is so entertaining. Link. If you don't link your videos in the show notes, I will link it because everybody has to see your videos of this because it is just classic Pine Leaf. So I'm glad you're talking about this.
Okay. Yes. I think I've only posted one because tonight's going to be the second episode of that one. And yes, I think it is going to be classic Pine Leaf. And
so far, it is.
Especially the first 2 episodes are very, very definitely classic. What in the world is going on?
You would see, yeah, I know. You were so confused, and I'm used to playing survival type games, so it's I'm finding myself yelling at my TV. It's like, no, Pine Leaf, look, no, over. It's right there. Like the thing you want. No, don't punch that. Grab. There you go.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go.
Okay. Yes, I did the very first thing where I was punching something, and in
Yes.
fact, I wasn't the only one who made that mistake because I actually saw afterwards a a group of players who's used to Minecraft, who the hermits, they were getting together in a group one together, and I think every single one started by punching.
I was dying. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you don't have to punch that, but I
Well,
mean, I have played some survival games where that's what you do. You do have to punch it until you get enough to craft like a tool or something. So I
right.
can kind of see where you went with that, but I was literally crying and yelling at my TV. I'm like, do
Well,
not punch that.
well, you gotta remember, I came from Minecraft, where the
I know,
first
I
thing
know,
you
I know.
always do is punch trees.
Oh, I was just dying. I was laughing so hard. Yeah, so I will link the video in the show notes. Go watch. It's a great time.
But I have a feeling I am not the only person who was doing some interesting things like that. And but in any case, Return to Moria, yes, last time I did my first one, trying to figure out how in the world do I get navigate this place, and then my next one is going to be actually trying to start a base, believe it or not. So,
I
and
was kind of interested in this game. I just wondered how well it was going to be and how well they are pulling it off. But I mean,
well,
just
yeah, that's right. And then when they introduced the thing, because I have, as I said, I'm used to things like more chill survival crafting games such
uh
as
huh.
Minecraft or Dinkum or something like that. And I think this is going to be more on the level of 7 Days to Die.
Yeah, it kind of gives me that vibes just a little bit. In like I said, the
Yeah. And in fact, you'll,
couple of your videos, I'm kind of
yeah.
getting that like okay, this is really 7 Days to Die a share
Yeah. And in fact, in
without the zombies,
episode
of
two,
course. But
yeah, in episode two, which I'll be posting tonight, you're going to see, yeah, 7 Days to Die is the first thing I thought of when certain
okay,
things happen.
yeah, I was kind of slowly getting those vibes a little bit. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But anyway, you're playing a dwarf who is going into starting to reclaim Moria.
Spoiler alert, you're returning to Moria.
Yeah, that's what it's called, Return to Moria. So it's the fourth age now. You're thinking, yeah, let's go. It's finally time to do it. And of course, things don't go perfectly fine, probably because
Oh,
it's
of
supposed
course
to,
not.
because it's Durin's supposed to lead the people to return to Moria, and Durin's not with you. So therefore, yeah, it's going to be a non-trivial thing. I have to see, is this going to be even less successful than the Iron Garrison in Lotro in trying to reclaim Moria? I guess we'll have to find out. But anyway, Return to Moria. It's a new game based on the Lord of the Rings franchise. They consulted with Dr. Corey Olson, who consulted on much of this thing.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, yes, he was a consultant on that. And in fact, he'll be interviewing the people involved in the game from the point of view of adaptation in his next episode of Other Minds and Hands, which is going to be recorded on Monday.
Oh, okay. All right.
And in that episode, they'll be looking into Return to Moria and on the because they'll have various members of the team on there, but they'll be looking at it from the point of view, not from gameplay point of view perspective, but from a game of an adaptation perspective, since his series Other Minds and Hands is all about adaptation, or how people take a property, how do you adapt it, and what change you have to make that work well with your medium and the like. But anyway, Return to Moria, so I spent some time on that, and I also spent a little time this week in the latest update to ESO, where they introduced something called the Endless Archive. And this is, I'm not too sure what you call this type of category. The thing that the Endless Archive is that whether you call it a roguelike thing, or you call it, in other words, you have this challenge in there, and as you go along in time in each round, it gets tougher and tougher and tougher and tougher, and the enemies get stronger as you go along in there. similar to in Lotro, they have the skirmish called Survival Barrel Downs, where they keep on lumping in as time goes along with that. So in this case, the enemies you're facing get tougher and tougher as you go along. You go from stage to stage to stage and face bosses and the like going
Oh,
through
okay.
there. So I'm not too sure what you call that category.
Um, yeah, I'm not sure either. It doesn't really sound like a roguelike, but yeah,
Well,
I'm not sure. I'm sure it has a name.
yeah. Well, you're right, because a roguelike you only get one life. In this one you do get
Right.
3 lives.
Yeah.
So I guess there is that different from a roguelike in there. But anyway, so they have this new thing called the Endless Archive, and very strange for ESO, and they designed it for 1 or 2, because usually they have the emphasis on either your storylines or your 4+ areas. So it's a little
Right.
strange. This update being emphasized for single player or 2 players is rather unusual, at least based on what I remember. And that's my week in gaming. We currently have 13 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to help support DDO players, you can go to the donations page. We can support the players that last on Patreon. Your money being used for our podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. And we actually have a comment from YouTube.
We
From
do. We have
um,
a couple actually.
was it Rachel Letters? Rachel Letters.
Sure. Rachel letters, I think. Says, nice to hear Axel's take on all this. FYI, our group got the Rebels Dragon Quest down to 4 minutes. Okay, I bow to you if you did that in 4 minutes. So we all had our red mounts in about an hour. Well, good for you. I was a little more than an hour, but that's okay. Outrageous cost? Yeah. 240 is too much. Rebels key drops do seem very stingy till the recent update, which I did notice they got a little better. And they are not dropping like crazy when everyone else has moved on. I'm just glad they finally scheduled the event in October instead of November. Hopefully, next seasonal event will be in December for the holiday season, which I would assume that would be Festivalts would be coming in December, I would think. So thank you for your comment on the video.
And Sakarakit 5835 said, appreciated. I now have a lamp envy.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. If you listen to the episode, you know. And I actually laughed out loud at that comment. That was kind of funny. So yeah, you'll have to listen to the episode and you'll know what the lamp envy is. But it's true. It's true, though.
Okay. If you'd like to send us an email, or you can send it to podcast at ddoplayers.com, though. It looks like you'd also just reply to the YouTube episode if you're listening through that medium.
Indeed.
The Players Alliance has 2 shows on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have Loach Players News, and we record DDO Players News when Drac is available. You guys join us for our shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that's all for tonight. And this is Pilot Mules reminding you to quest responsibly.